you some tips and tricks which will make you stand outstanding from others. You will definitely be in a better position to talk better, to carry yourself better, and after certain time, the personality gets developed and changed. People will be amazed to see, is this Adya? My God, look at the way she's talking. My God, look at the way she's walking. So these are the tips and tricks which help us to be a better person. Now, can we move on to our next activity? Or the
Yes,
next
ma'am.
class? Okay. So I would just take you to my slide. I'll be sharing a slide with you, which will help you to just go through as well as converse with me on today's topic. Yeah, Adya. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first and foremost is, what is communication basically? Do you know what communication is?
Yes, ma'am. To talk with someone.
Perfect. To talk with someone. But generally, we keep talking and talking and talking. But there is a difference in talking and listening. There is a difference in communication and effective communication. So today I'm going to brief you or take you with the journey of effective communication.
Okay.
Communication is, yeah. So communication is basically, as you said, we both are talking to each other, right?
Yes.
Now I am
Yes.
going to tell you I'm going to give you a small invitation. Okay. Do listen to my
Hmm.
invitation. Adya,
Okay.
my birthday is there in next month. It's coming in the next month. So I would be more than happy if you could attend my birthday party. Will you be there with me? I'm just inviting you. So will you be there for the birthday party?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes. I will surely be there.
Okay. I am so happy to hear and receive a positive response from you. Okay. So Adya, I invited you
Yes.
for my birthday party. I
Hmm.
communicated to you that you should be there for the party. And you agreed to
Hmm.
it. The conversation end, right?
Yes.
But do you know where do I stay?
Hmm. Where?
Do you know where do you have to come to the birthday party?
No, ma'am.
So most of the information in communication is incomplete. Was it complete?
Hmm. No.
No. So this is actually not a complete communication. So we are here to see what are the ways of effective communication. This was just a part of it, of the whole journey. Effective communication is communicating the entire information. So when you're talking to somebody, you need to consider many points. So which will help you to gather more information and be a better person. So can we just go through the slide?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first point for you is, so I'm going to give you a few tips for effective communication. There is a small keyword written. Can you just read it for me after remember?
Yes, ma'am. BEBEC.
BEBEC. So I somehow say it as bebek. I term it as bebek. So what can we term it as?
Yes, ma'am.
Bebek.
Bebe.
Bebek means, first is body language. So when we are communicating with
Yes.
anyone, you might have observed in your friend circle, few of them stand with a slouch position. Few of them stand with a hand on their forehead or many other body gestures. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
But there are a few who stand straight, who give a big smile, who talk confidently. Aren't those people liked by others?
Yes, ma'am.
So amongst those two, first and foremost point in effective communication is body language. Body language is the one, it is indirectly talking to others. In communication, body language plays a very important role. So in body language, there is your posture, your facial expressions, your gestures, and many other points. So in body language, whenever you are communicating to each other, it is important for us to carry yourself in a good posture. The way you stand speaks a lot about you. The way you carry yourself speaks a lot about you. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
What happens, Adya, when we just go out and maybe you're going for a birthday party? How do you dress yourself for the birthday party?
Ma'am, like ma'am, we wear party wear.
Yes, you wear a
Yes,
party
ma'am.
wear, right? So you don't go in uniforms?
No, ma'am.
No. So we always go as per the dress code which is required in that situation.
Yes.
Here, in effective communication, when we talk to anybody anywhere, it is important for us to carry yourself well, stand in an erect posture with your chin up. Many a times, some people have the tendency to keep their chin down and walk. Some of them have tendency to keep their chin up and walk. But there are hidden differences in this. When you keep your chin down, it shows you're not interested in that communication. When you put your chin up, people feel as if this girl has attitude, this boy has attitude, right?
Oh,
There are so many things. So it is important for us to maintain your chin correctly and look at the person when you talk. So in effective
yes.
communication, first point as we covered is body language. The posture is what
Yes,
we
ma'am.
carry ourselves. How would Adya feel if she stands straight and look at me? Come on, we both will stand and just act as we both are talking to each other. Will you stand? It's possible for you to stand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Adya. So now we both can have a good communication while talking to each other. So I would just ask you, hi Adya,
Yes,
how are
ma'am.
you?
Ma'am, I'm fine.
Okay. So if I talk to you, hi Adya, how are you? I'm slouching down. Will it look good? Will it give a good impression about me?
No.
No. Now Adya is going to ask something to teacher. Come on, Adya, ask something.
Yes. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good, Adya. How are you?
Ma'am, I'm fine.
Okay, good. So Adya, you slouch down a bit and talk to me. How do you feel about
Uh,
yourself when you slouch down? If you slouch
mm,
like this, slouch, droop your shoulders, and just ask me, ma'am, how are you?
ma'am, how are you?
Okay, now Adya is going to stand straight and look at the teacher and ask, ma'am, how are you?
Ma'am, how are you?
Can you feel some difference in both those postures?
Yes,
Which one did
ma'am.
you like? Or which one did you feel better? Think and tell me. We are in no hurry.
Ma'am, the straight
The
one.
straight one. Correct. So posture plays a really important factor in any kind of communication. So now I'm going to take you
Mm.
to facial expressions. You know, expressions talk a lot to others. Along with our voice, along with what we want to speak, it speaks a lot about our position. So it's easy for both of us to talk to each other.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Adya. Am I audible, Adya?
It's okay, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So now I'm going to tell you about facial expressions. You know, these facial expressions also speak a lot. How? Now I'm going to talk to you, okay?
Mm,
And I'm going to look down and I'm going to make faces while I talk to you. What do you feel for the same?
mm, I'm like, someone is not interested or like something.
Bingo, bingo. You gave me the absolutely correct answer. So, facial expressions tend to let others know that if you're interested in the session or if you're not interested in the session. So now when you're talking to someone, it's important for us to maintain a good eye contact and good facial expressions. It's always good to
Yes,
be
ma'am.
smiling, but you should not smile unnecessarily at wrong places. People might misunderstand you. You got it right. So it's important for us to pick up the correct places and give a smile where it is required, or else keep your face normal. So facial expressions is something which helps other person understand whether you are interested in the communication. Now, if Adya wants to make her communication interesting or make him listen to you, what Adya
Yes,
can
ma'am.
do? What Adya can do?
Mm,
She can definitely keep a chin right. She can
yeah.
stand and she can put a small smile on her face and use a confident language and good vocab to talk with a friend. Isn't it?
Ma'am.
Can you just visualize Adya standing like this, visualizing standing in a erect position with a chin correct, a small smile on her face, and talking to a friend? Did you visualize?
Yes.
How do you feel then? Doesn't it
Ma'am,
feeling
good.
good? Doesn't it make you feel proud of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So these all small points are going to make you feel proud of yourself and make you a confident person. And others also will feel like communicating and talking to you. Okay. Nice.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
Adya, now I will move on to a next point. As we just spoke about posture and facial expressions, I have gestures with me.
Hmm.
Do you know what gestures are?
Mm, ma'am, gestures.
Okay, no
Hmm.
issues, no issues. So nowadays people are continuously on WhatsApp, right? There are so many emoticons on WhatsApp.
Yes.
So many a times you put, what does the V stands for?
Ma'am, victory.
Victory. Fingers crossed. Awesome. Great. So aren't these all emoticons boost your confidence?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
while communicating, it is always good to use the positive emotions rather than the negative emotions. It's always good to give positive emotions and positive gestures to others so that you boost their confidence. And you definitely can have a better friendship with your friend forever, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I would just like to know from Adya now, while communicating effectively, which are the few points which you could recollect now?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the body
Hmm?
language. Ma'am, facial
Hmm?
expressions. Ma'am, gesture.
Gestures, correct? Thank you, Adya. So that means you're not
Welcome,
sleeping,
ma'am.
you're listening to me, isn't it? Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So now I have one more point for you, that is the space. So when talking to somebody, the space plays a major role. Space means what? The distance between two persons. See, at times
Yes.
it happens, even if she's a friend, a close friend of yours, if she's standing too close to you, you feel comfortable or at times you feel uncomfortable. Yes or no?
Yes.
So space is one more point which is to be considered when we are communicating with somebody. So when you're communicating with
Hmm.
somebody, if you are in a friendly mode, if you are at a restaurant to have some food, good food, and enjoy with your friends or family, then there is less of space when you sit with each other, right?
Hmm.
But
Yes.
when you are in school, when you are in a classroom, and even if you are feeling comfortable, but will you go and
Hmm.
put your hands on the shoulders of your friend?
No.
No. So in communication, space is equally important. Space indicates the distance between the two
Yes.
person. So this point teaches you
Hmm.
that when you are effectively communicating with anyone, you have to first guess with
Hmm.
whom you are communicating, with whom and
Hmm.
where. That defines the
Yes,
space
ma'am.
between the two person, right? So
Yes,
when
ma'am.
you're talking to somebody, it is one of the most important points to be considered in communication, that is the space. You should keep a specific distance between each other so that it is easier to convey the message you
Yes.
want to convey to the other person. Agree with me?
Yes,
Great.
ma'am.
So Adya, can I move to the next point?
Yes,
Okay, can you
ma'am.
read out for me? What is written after space?
Ma'am,
Voice.
voice.
Do you have any clue what voice, means in communication?
Ma'am, how to talk. Like,
Mm,
ma'am, in which accent.
correct, correct. So voice is all about the voice modulation you have while talking to each other.
Hmm.
If at times you come across a good novel, are you a reader?
Yes, ma'am. I like reading storybooks.
You like reading storybooks? Do you like listening to
Yes.
them as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Ma'am, but mostly I read.
You read, appreciate that habit of yours. It's a very nice habit which will help you in a long run.
Hmm.
So voice is all about the voice modulation we use. You know why it is important? Along with what you talk, how you talk plays a major role in it. If I just use my voice
Okay.
in a good way, like example, if I want to tell you, Adya, you are really doing so well in your studies.
Thank
Okay,
you, ma'am.
okay. And if one fine day, I'll just give an example. If you scored very good marks in your exam, and your dada comes home after a long day at work, and you happily showed him your results, he's definitely happy to see your results, right? But if he
Hmm.
says, oh, well done, Adya, how does this sound? Does it sound good?
Ma'am, no,
How will you
ma'am.
feel for it?
Ma'am, not
Not
so
so good.
good.
So voice modulation is, since he's your dada, you will understand him very well. That won't be an issue. But here we are talking
Yes.
using voice modulation when you are talking in public as a skill for public speaking,
Hmm.
right? So
Yes,
when you
ma'am.
talk to your friends, it is important to be cautious and alert about the voice modulation you use while talking. So when you're talking to your friend,
Yes.
you give some cheerful language. If you have a good voice modulation, like let me give you an example. As I said, if you like one of your dress of your friend, maybe her name is
Hmm.
Rita. Do you have a friend named Rita? Do you
Yes,
have a
ma'am?
friend named Rita? No?
No.
Okay, tell me one of your friends' name, please.
Ma'am,
Anvi,
Anvi.
nice name. Okay, so you met Anvi and you liked her very much. And you said, wow, Anvi, you're dressed so well. I just loved it. And you ask her, can you give me dress of
Yeah.
yours for a trial someday? What will Anvi answer?
Hmm. Um, Ma'am, she will say okay.
She'll say, okay. As well, you made her day by flattering her. Yes. So voice modulation plays a very important role while communicating to other. It is important to use a cheerful voice when we talk with others. if we speak in a very low volume and less of expressions on my face, will the communication looks good?
No.
No. So when we are communicating with anyone, the utmost points we need to keep in our mind is bebek. But in bebek, we have these sub points like facial expressions, gestures, the
Yes.
space, and the voice. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm directly jumping to a third point first. That's be a good listener. Now
Hmm.
let me see how Adya is a listener and teacher is a listener. Okay.
Hmm.
Do you know there is a difference in hearing and listening?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by hearing?
Ma'am, like if someone is talking, so I hear him or her,
You hear.
but
Okay. And
yes,
then what is the difference in listening?
mm, it's also the
It's the
same.
same? No, it is not the same. When you hear, you tend to just listen to it and move. But when you are listening,
Hmm.
you register those points in your mind. So now, when I'm talking to
Oh.
you, and if you're listening to me, you will be able to tell me what session was about. But if you're just
Hmm.
hearing to me, you won't be able to understand what am I talking, right? So now I'm going to tell
Yes.
you. Now, many a times, Mama keeps telling you, Adya, please clear your clothes. Adya, did you pack your bag? Adya is watching TV, right? So that time, are you listening to Mama or are you hearing?
Ma'am, only hearing.
Only hearing. What were you expect? Mama expected you to listen to her, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So that is a difference in hearing and listening. So effective communication is all about listening to the person. Now you'll tell me why, miss? What is the difference in hearing and listening? Why should I hear? Why should I listen and not hear? Any clue, Adya?
Ma'am, because in hearing we only hear, we do not remember the points, but in listening, we remember the points someone is speaking.
Agree, agree. But listening has its own benefit. It has some special things, special hidden store for you. Listening, basically, when you
Yeah.
listen to others, and during any
Hmm.
communication, if you're listening to others, you might get some more
Hmm.
ideas and more points in any communication. Like example, if you're talking to with your friend on any movie which you both have recently watched during the weekend, and you both decided to talk to each
Hmm.
other. Agree? So there
Yes.
is a small kind of communication between both of you. Okay. Now, when your friend is talking to you, you are also in a hurry to tell her how the movie was, what is the review of the movie, what did you feel about it. Okay. And even she is telling you, or she is sharing her part of the story. You are absolutely okay with it and you like whatever she's saying. But if you're deeply engrossed and listening to what she's saying, you get more vocabulary words about a movie review, which you might not know. Will it happen?
Hmm.
Can it happen?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes.
then, without sitting and underlining the words from a book, you ready-made got some vocabulary building words
Hmm.
which you can use in your later life,
Yes, ma'am.
which helps to improve your word bank.
Yeah.
So that is about a good listener. So when you do any kind of communication to anyone, along with your talking, it is important to be a good listener, which helps you in gathering more information and more ideas, which will help you in the long run. Do you agree with what I say?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yes.
Pakka?
Yes.
Okay. Can I move to the next point? Or you want to drink water or
Yes,
something for some
ma'am.
time? Do you want to drink a glass of water?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I
Neha ma'am
have
and
a new
Adya, yeah, sorry to speak in middle. So just one thing, we have, I think, 4 or 5 minutes more left for this session to time out. So if the session ends by itself, we will have to rejoin on the same link. So Adya, do you understand what I said just? Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
if the session gets auto disconnected, you will have to rejoin at the same link where you joined this time. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So Adya,
Uh,
can we just brush up on our points which we did?
yes, ma'am.
Rather, would you like to brush up on the points? Would you like to revisit those points?
Okay.
Okay, you can tell me on your own what points you recollected or what did you like the most from this effective communication thing, skill
Yes,
rather.
ma'am. Ma'am, first was the body language. Ma'am, then facial expressions.
Hmm?
Ma'am, then gestures,
Hmm?
voice,
Hmm?
ex- be a good listener.
Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And which point did you like the most, which Adya will imbibe in her from today, which will
Mm,
make her outstanding from her friends?
ma'am, be a good listener, and ma'am, gestures,
Okay.
expression.
Okay. Great, Adya. So now I have something else for you. Okay. Here is one more thing, that's eye contact, which is foremost important in any kind of communication.
Yes.
Have you heard about it prior anytime from any of your friend or have you read it anywhere? The importance of eye contact in communication?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? What do you know about eye contact?
Yes.
Would you like to share with me?
Um, Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, like in the eye contact, if we look up or in sideways, then we will think that this person is not listening
Hmm?
or it's ignoring, like that.
Correct. Perfect. Adi is a very smart girl. I'm so happy to talk to you actually.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. So eye contact, there are many types of eye contacts. Basically, when you talk to somebody, it is important for us to maintain an eye contact. Means you should not roll up your eyes above the forehead. You should not roll down your eyes below the chin. So if you stand, if I'm just looking at you, I'm talking to you rather, and I'm looking
Hmm.
upwards. How do you feel, Adya?
Ma'am, I will think that someone is not paying attention.
Correct, correct. Perfectly agree with you. So when you're talking to somebody and if you're rolling your eyes up, left, right, that means you are not at all interested in the conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you want that the person should be engaged and should be talking to you, then it is important to look at him, maintain a firm eye contact, and go ahead with the conversation. If you maintain an
Yes.
eye contact, the other person is